James Mathers at Cine Gear Expo 2018. I'm here with Christophe Casenave from the Carl Zeiss company, and Carl Zeiss has brought out a whole new set of full-frame lenses. But before we get to that, I'd like to find out a little bit about the history of the company.
Yeah, so Carl Zeiss is a company that was founded by Carl Zeiss. It's 125 years old.
Wow.
And Carl Zeiss was a kind of visionary. So basically he worked with a mathematician named Ernst Abbe. And Abbe is the one that made the theory of optical design. Before him, when you wanted to build optical systems, you tried and check what happened and unmount and retry assembling the lenses, and Abbe has made the theory, the math behind this. So Zeiss is the first, Carl Zeiss and Ernst Abbe were the first, making optical system by calculating them, so making them reproducible.
And that's even before cinema.
And that's before cinema, so which happens for us 80 years ago. We started with the first cinema lenses. The majority of the time in cooperation with Arri. So so basically in the 70s we had the super speeds, the high-speed lenses.
I had a set of those.
Yeah, and these are lenses that now everybody wants to find again. They are still in use. And other milestone was ultra prime. So it was at that time the most complete set of lenses, of high-speed lenses. And then master prime, the first lenses ever that did not breathe at all. Then lately we did some new things like master anamorphics, again together with Arri, but also we had the Digi Prime for 2/3 inch, so the first really digital lenses for digital cinema, even if it stopped quite fast because new technology and sensor were coming. And lately now this year we introduced a new line of full frame lenses, the Supreme Primes. Actually full frame is for us, we think it's
You've been doing it for a long time.
So we did full frame since the 30s, but we started with full frame for still photography, but then we did also, we are used to do lenses for large sensor because we did also all the Hasselblad lenses. So many of you are photographers. We did the medium format Hasselblad lenses.
So you're all set when the big sensors come to cinema.
It's for us, it's we have experience. Perhaps a small story, we even did a 1,800 millimeter lens for Hasselblad, which was made for the Sheikh of Qatar because he wanted to photograph antelopes from his palace. So the lens is huge.
Yes.
You cannot transport it, but we
like
did
a telescope.
Yes, something like this.
The master primes are pretty big lenses too, especially for primes. And one thing that I've seen that I really like about your new set is that they have some of the same characteristics, but they're much more practical and much easier to handle. More like the original primes that you had.
Yeah. So yes, it was very important for us. And how could we achieve this? There are a lot of technology steps we did, not only in the optic, but also in the whole what is around the optic. Because in a master prime, one part is the optic, but also the smooth mechanical elements are very important. So, and we use at that time a CAM technology, which means you need a lot of space. So now, with the new Supreme Prime, why we are able to make them so small is that we found a way to make helicoid that will be as smooth as CAM, but it's much more compact. In fact, making this kind of helicoid that is still very smooth, everybody that knows the Ultra Prime knows that helicoid is sometimes not as smooth, but here we found a way which is really, I would say, rocket science, it's a new helicoid technology with a very, very high precision. So we need to machine the helicoid with a 5 micron precision. And then due to this, we are able to make helicoid that are smooth as cam, and this allows us to make the lens much smaller.
And all your lenses have always been so clean, you know. Who cares about character? You try to get it precise first, and you can add character with filters if you want to.
Yes, but interestingly, those lenses are sharp.
Yeah.
But I would say they are gently sharp.
Yeah.
So we don't do vintage lenses, and everybody knows this, and it would be lying to say, yeah, they have vintage character. They are sharp, but we paid a lot attention in designing them with a focus fall-off that is very, very slow. So first of all, for the ACs, we thought about the poor ACs that will now need to pull the focus on a T15 full-frame lens.
Yes.
Having a very smooth fall-off allows him to be a bit forgiving. So if you miss a bit the focus, it's quite forgiving. And imagine you have the A is very sharp, but then the fall-off is very smooth. So this part would still be sharp, but with a bit of defocus, which means the skin tones will be very, very beautiful.
Oh, nice. I hate it when one eye is in focus and the other one isn't.
Yeah.
I don't like that shallow depth of field. So your philosophy is to have it sharp but smooth. Is that a fair way to say it?
Yes. So sharp, very sharp. So if you are, let's say, in focus properly, I would say it's even sharper than a master prime. But the way it falls off is so harmonic that it would, provide some very, very smooth skin tone, some very, very smooth background, and even the region that is near the focus is very, very smooth. In contrary to, I would say the master prime are very sharp, but they fall off a bit faster, which makes them a bit harder. What a lot of people. Some like this, many like this because Master Prime is very popular, but some don't like this.
Too antiseptic for some people.
Sorry?
Too antiseptic for some people.
Yeah, perhaps.
But, different horses
so we
for different courses.
We did the work on the artistic part, which is very difficult for us because we are all engineers. I'm sorry for this, we are not artists, but we respect the artists so much that we named the Supreme Primes according to what we think DOPs are supreme artists.
So what are the speeds? You said 1.5, are they all 1.5?
Not all. So the majority of those. Basically from 21 millimeter, from the 18 millimeter to 135, they will all be 1.5.
1.5, that's great.
The 15 will be 1.8, the 150 is 1.8, and the 200 2. For the sake of keeping them compact.
Sure. And how about the front diameters? Do they all match or pretty close?
So the majority, so from 21 to 100, they are all 95 millimeter matched. And then we will go to the 114, which is the next standardized for the other lens.
Yeah. That's important because it really speeds up production when you don't have to be changing it in all the rings all the time. And
yes. And in terms of weight, they are around 3 pounds.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
How's that compared to a Master Prime? Half?
It's much lighter. Much lighter for a lens which is full frame.
Well, what do you see for the future?
For the future, well, quite a lot of trends. I think I would say beauty. For the future, the lens must bring even more beauty, and perhaps more beauty that you can choose by yourself. So, which means like for the Supreme Prime, we make them rather sharp with some beauty characteristic so that you can add your beauty. So you can filter, you can diffuse, you can light. But everything that you do is reproducible. So it's not, with a vintage lens, you are always a kind of, how will it perform here? If you use a Supreme Prime or even Master Primes, people like them because everything you do is reproducible. You can add flair, you can add...
You have control.
But you control it. So I think it's very, very important, and that's our philosophy, that we don't want to dictate a look. it's up to the DOP. We are only a tool manufacturer. We'd say a paintbrush manufacturer.
Mm-hmm.
But we don't make the paintbrush screwy or triangle for the sake of saying it was painted with our paintbrush. It's up to the DOP to use the paintbrush the way he likes.
Yeah.
But what we put, the whole effort that we put, I would say, that makes our lenses really exceptional is the reliability. Because everybody says, DOPs are artists, they are in their world and so, but majority of people forget that the artist DOP also need to deliver, and they need to have tools that are reliable. And I would say what we got also as feedback is the DNA from Zeiss is precision and reliability. And I have a small story of one DOP, very good commercial DOP, by the way, one of the A-class commercial DOP. He mentioned that, well, for one scene we put ultra prime on a drone because we thought, okay, if the drone crash, first of all, it's more lightweight, and if the drone crash, it's not that expensive. So they use this lens, and then what must happen happened. So the drone crashed. So the camera, it was a good camera, was broken. The drone was completely broken, and the ultra prime was still complete. and he said, this kind of reliability story is printed in my head. So yes. I know now if I'm going into the desert and the next rental or service is 2 days away, I will take a Zeiss.
Thank you. That's a good story.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Christophe.
You're
Appreciate
welcome.
your time.
Yeah, you're welcome.